City of Vernon Council meeting Tuesday, February the 18th, 2025 at 5:30 p.m. to order. Canvas invocation, please.
Heavenly Father, thank you for allowing us to be here tonight. We thank you for bringing each one of us here safely, and we ask that you guide us safely home. We ask for the direction, for your direction to the council, and help them to make the best decisions for the city and community. Keep us all safe. Keep our country safe. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If you will, add discussion of the demolition of the building, the band room building, to number 4 for Mr. Gary. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Make a motion to approve.
Any second?
I'll second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carried. Mayor's report, Mr. Gary.
Well, a whole lot before, about most of it's about Jason. And we're just working along for the event that's coming. Not much headway being made on it at all. The wires at the Shady Grove, all they done was just looped them up, put tape on them. I can reach them. They're not tied onto a pole or nothing. Need to carry a ladder and just put them up there. Really was no reason to call an electrician for it. Some of the trash he hauled off, some of it he didn't. But I'll get with him again tomorrow. I was hoping he's here tonight.
He's Pike Electric's disconnecting the sewer plant to the new lines, and so he had to be there with them while they were doing it, and they're not done.
That's a bit about it on that. Only other thing is power, the night lights, street lights. We never found a map on it, did we?
There is a map. I do have a map on all the ones that we own. Now somebody will have to go out to recognize them, you know, to somebody will have to ride the road.
If you'll make a copy of that for me, we'll take care of it.
Okay.
Other thing we're getting is the 911 addresses. I hope we can get them. That way we'll know on each piece of property, and we can start identifying the property that things gonna have to be done with. The other thing is we got 2 bills on the old band room over here. First one is from Chapel Branch, and that's number 4. Excuse me, I'm about to get ahead of myself. That's all I've got. Anybody got anything, any questions?
Attorney's report. Michelle's not able to be here tonight. Candace, she didn't give you anything, did she?
She texted and just said that if we needed her to call, that they had just gotten in from the hospital.
Clerk's report, Candace.
Last week, Dale came and did a pre-bid for anybody that was interested in putting in a bid for Church Street paving, wells 1 and 2, and the generators. So that covers 2 grants, but broken up into 3 sections because it's different types of contractors. We had 4 here interested in Church Street. We had 2 here for the wells and nobody here for the generators. And that doesn't mean somebody's not gonna put in a bid for them, but it was not a required thing that they show up for pre-bid. And they had somebody, they were gonna just try to touch base with a few people to say, hey, we've got these generators, you know. So I think that was last Tuesday. We've got a couple of grants that I did do that grant that y'all want me to put in for, so we got that, did that last Thursday, or the Thursday before. there's a couple more grants we can go with now. But that would be like one of them's doing middle of March and one of them's doing May, and I'll bring y'all a little bit more to look at, because if you pay somebody to do the application, it'll be a few $1,000s on them. So unless I do them, and I can look through them and see if I can. I don't know. But I just got one of them today, just the email today. Let's see. Community center, they have not started on it yet at all, but I think we're almost at the put things out. The architect would put things out. Now I say almost, so that might be 6 months, but we are moving forward on it. I think it has to be done by September, if I'm not mistaken. Tim did come sign his contract. He also has requested, given interest in wanting to talk to y'all about leasing another building and having other like yoga and different things in there, where it might be the MMA people come twice a week or whatever, and he would be responsible for the lease. And I told him to get a plan together to come talk to y'all, and he said, he wanted to just, y'all tell him an amount for whatever building and then do it the right way so that there wasn't no problems if y'all are interested in doing that. But that falls on one of the buildings that could be possibly used would be the science building. And Shaq has interest in using the science building for training, so y'all would have to, decide. The only other building was the art room building when I was in school. Y'all know what I'm talking about. In the hallway, you go into the gym, down the hallway, which we've got it blocked right now. And then it's that first section, and there's a bathroom and a little kitchen area which needs pulling out. I mean, it looks rough, but it's all cosmetic. It's not structural. And that's only 2 places that would be large enough that I know of for those kind of activities. So if y'all have interest in that, let me know and I'll get back in touch with him.
Well, if he wants to do it, then he needs to come up with a plan and come before council.
Well, then that's what I'll tell him. But if y'all if you didn't have any interest in him doing it, he doesn't want to, bother. He just said, let me know, because he said he's got some people that want to do yoga, the MMA, and some kind of hardcore training, not with weights, but it's some kind of physical training.
Well, how come he can't come and let us know? Come before the council and tell us what he plans to do.
I think he just put it before Candace so she could mention it to council to see if we would be interested in it before he comes. I'm assuming.
Yeah, I think so.
Because there might be questions that we need to ask him. That's why he needs to be here. If you're going to do a plan like that, I think you need to come before the council.
So I'll just let him know that to put something together and come and present it to y'all.
If it's just a little something, we still need to know what he's going to do.
And there was something else. I've got because oftentimes I do work at the house, I have a laptop fixed with all of our documents, all of everything on it, so that I can work wherever. I didn't have that before, so I did get that done. Johnny, don't make me come down there and pop you in the head. I think that's it.
So, you've got a busy schedule coming up over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So, are you need to work at home for a little while?
Well, I'm just letting y'all know that I can work from wherever, and sometimes I do work at home and I don't charge y'all. I don't charge the city because I'm limited to what I can do from home. But it is easy. It would be nice sometimes if I could work remotely, but that's whatever. I'm just letting y'all know that I have that capability now.
Okay.
Number one thing, your health is more important than anything.
Exactly.
Number two, for me, as long as you covered it, you got somebody up here, do what you need to do to be healthy.
A lot of what I do in here is frou-frou work, but I know that sounds, I don't know another way to say it. Somebody calls and then specifically need to speak to me, and it's because their garbage can wheel rolled off, you know, and they need a new garbage can. And that's something that anybody in the office can handle, but y'all are paying me to do a work order for a garbage can to go out when they could have talked to anybody for that. Those are little things. But anyway, if y'all are okay with me doing that sometimes, that's fine. I did have another thing. I don't really want y'all to vote on it tonight, but I'm concerned a little bit about our accounting services, and I don't like saying that on YouTube.
Well, I'll step there with you and say I'm concerned too.
Mhm.
So we got an invoice for a substantial amount for changing the check numbers in QuickBooks that I had mentioned when they first set QuickBooks up. Okay? And since it's been changed, I've also still had to change every single number to the right one since then. And it was like $1,200 bill for changing check numbers. And I've been saying the whole time I can't match up anything because, and they also do the reconciliation for the bank statements. And if they don't tell me something hadn't cleared, then I get a call that they didn't get it. Well, it's only happened like twice, but it's still embarrassing to not know that they weren't paid, because we should have been able to look at the end of the month and see that check didn't clear. And the bank reconciliation is not, it's not happening monthly. Y'all know I don't like to say things publicly to downgrade anybody, so I'm uncomfortable, but I do have some concerns.
I have some of that to talk about during my report as well, that explain to council what you've recently discovered is going on.
And that's all I have.
And as far as you being able to work from home when you need to, I don't have a problem with it at all. You're right around the corner. You've got somebody here answering the phone on days that you're not here. Does any of the rest of the council have an issue with it? So I think
Y'all ain't gonna hurt my feelings.
you're fine. I don't have a problem with it all. I know you've been taking care of everything from home and here. Even when you're at home, you're still doing the work, and now that you've got the laptop.
And a lot of times
do
you're
what you
here
do.
and you're not supposed to be here and you're still here. So
And you always let us know. I mean,
when you
so.
What do we need to do about this reconciliation?
They're getting paid monthly, $675 a month to do the payroll, which is bi-weekly, and to reconcile the bank statements. I got a list about a month ago of items that he need, because I asked for the financial statements. I said, listen, I don't know where to pull these from in this program because he does it, and where can I pull this report to give to the council members every month? And he said, well, I sent you those questions a couple of weeks ago, and when I find out that, then we can do a financial statement. And I was like, I looked at it because I'd started, and I was like, well, you know what those are. That's the Florida Department. It was various things, but like 12 of them on the sheet were the payment for DOC's training center down here for a water bill or whatever, because it automatically deposits into our account, so he wanted to label it. And so I pull it out and start looking at it, and it's like November of 2023. Well, why is that not already? Like, these things should have been done if you're reconciling the bank statement every month. And then the previous month, somebody had called and said, you always pay the bills and I haven't gotten this check. And I said, well, let me look and find out what's going on. And it was from July. And no, they never got the checks. So that worries me, because I don't want to be held accountable and it.
I don't want to sign that letter.
You don't wanna sign which letter?
The letter bill, if something wrong with our county.
And our annual financial report
Yeah.
was sent to the wrong place, and I reached out to them, and then they said, Garrett told me, no, I just logged in and saw it, so I started calling around, and then they walked me through it, and we logged in, and it wasn't there. They didn't send it to the right place. So I did get it to the right place right then, and I certified mailed it too because I wanted to double check everything, but I don't want the city to get into a problem, and I love them, so I don't.
He said,
Business is business.
I know, y'all know I'm
I
soft-hearted.
was gonna say something during my president's report, but since we're discussing it now, I'll go ahead and say that when we first hired them, some of y'all were here, some of you weren't. It was to separate part of what was going on that the clerk was doing. We get, and it's basic, nearly everybody gets them, but we get every year in our audit, there's a checks and balances because we're such a small town. We always get that little note about it. That was one of the things that the CPA came to the city about when he started this business on his own. He had been, I believe he had been working with us through the audits before that. Everything seemed good. The contract was written up. He was gonna do, his company was gonna do certain services for $675 a month. It drug to start with because he had to set everything up, and we were patient with that. He was coming every once in a while giving reports. He's been asked repeatedly to come, and I can't tell you when the last time I saw him was.
hasn't been here in over a year.
And not only that, but there's been little things that Candace has had to fix, and what she was talking about that she found out the other day, I actually saw that email as well. They're paid $675 a month. They're supposed to be doing the reconciling. Obviously, if you're asking her for a document from 2023, you've not reconciled it. But they've been paid for it. When they set up the system so it would integrate from their office to here, and they set up everything, those check numbers that she's talking about were supposed to have been set up right. Well, last month, if I'm not mistaken, it was last month, an invoice came in for $1,200 to set those check numbers up right. And it was supposed to have been done. The money's been paid to them, and it's still not done. She still haven't fixed the check numbers. So, for me, she's doing the work anyway. It may be better on the city to just pay her the $675 a month extra and go back to handling it that way.
Well, on the way we do payroll, Jason submits his payroll to them, so I don't ever see their payroll.
And to me, that ain't kosher.
And then I submit our payroll to him, and then I submit the fire department, which Shaq sends me however many, like if basically 5 days a week, 2 of them are working, and that's a 1099. And then we submit all that, and there's a few other things like just Jimmy's paycheck, which is 1099, and Stephanie, who does the cleaning, which is 1099. Then we go back and forth but like when Garrett was off, nobody else in the office could do it, so the poor little girl that was trying to figure out how to do it ended up calling, and I felt so bad for her. And we ended up working through it, but by the time she got to call me, it was so late in the afternoon, we didn't get paid that day, the day that we were supposed to get paid. We didn't get paid till the day after because it's ACH and we missed the cutoff. And she was just about in tears because she didn't know how to do it. And but he deserves a vacation, but nobody there knew how to do it.
I'm not trying to throw the company under the bus at all. We've been using them, we've been dealing with them. It just hasn't ever progressed to what it was presented to be. There's been problems with it from the start, and they haven't gotten any better, they've actually gotten worse.
Well, when you bring out something wrong like that, you're not throwing them under the bus.
No, I mean, it is
Just
what
the
it
way
is.
I've just been trying for a while, and I didn't want to mention it, but when we got the $1,200 invoice for checks, I couldn't.
What do you want to do?
I don't care what y'all ever tell me to do, but I don't want to pay no $1,200 to see people with citizens' water bills again for fixing check numbers that should have already been right.
You comfortable taking that on?
Oh, I'm with him doing the payroll. Now, the first of all, here's the bigger thing. I went I've not done it by myself on QuickBooks Online, because my QuickBooks so it's different. QuickBooks Desktop is different than QuickBooks Online. So I went in to look at it last week. He's not been using our program. So none of our people's information is in that program. It's obviously he's using his own QuickBooks program. So I don't have.
But isn't he the one that suggested us go to?
Yes, and
Yeah,
he's using
absolutely.
QuickBooks, but he's using his own QuickBooks, because when I went in, Nikki's not even in there. All of our payroll amounts were from 3 years ago, 2 years ago, whatever, before anybody got raises. There's nothing out of that system, so he's using his own QuickBooks program instead of ours. So in other words, I don't even have their year-to-date stuff in our system.
And
I got nothing.
She's just recently found out about this. But when we hired them,
It
They
was supposed to be
suggested-
integrated.
that's why we went with the QuickBooks, is so it would integrate. And she's just found out that it's not being used. She doesn't have the records that she needs in City Hall. So we have an issue.
I mean, I can take their pay stubs and manually plug it all in for the past year or whatever, but I'm just saying, those were just last week for better wording, it really made me mad.
Well, and I wish that the attorney was here, and I don't want to bother with it. But my opinion on it, not that my opinion is the only one that matters, but I'm just going to tell y'all how I feel about it. I've been dealing with them from the start. We just, like I said, we knew some things were, in the beginning, were touch and go, and everybody was trying to work together. That's not the case now. This has been going on for a couple of years. And what Candace has recently found out, we've been paying them, and they've not actually been
Doing the work.
They've been doing the payroll.
doing all of the work that the contract was for. And it just doesn't, I don't appreciate them deciding when she's been asking them since the start about the check numbers, and then just say, oh, okay, one day, let me fix these and bill the city and get paid for it without, I mean, double what they get paid a month for what they're supposed to be doing anyway.
I say they can do it. You do it.
And if everybody's okay with it, I'm just gonna add it to number 5, unless y'all want to wait and see what the attorney has to say, see if they're gonna fix what we've paid them to fix first.
Yeah, I think you're wasting your money.
Waste money and time. You know, waste 3 years.
We want to do something there.
Okay, so I'll add number 5 to,
Hopefully we need to let her look. I don't know.
let me ask you this.
You all right with that?
I can do it, and it's gonna be a mess the first time, because, well, I'm gonna let them do it if it's fine with y'all, even if y'all decide for me to do it, because it's due Thursday, and I need to get in there and have time to plug in everything. So,
Well, one other question I have is when is the last time that we signed a contract with them?
we never have signed a contract with them. They came in, this was one of the issues, this was brought up a year or so, maybe.
He put a contract in front of us, this is what he was gonna do when we hired him.
Yes, he came and made a presentation. Remember when he was getting dragged down with that thing that was going on with that guy in Panama City that has a blog or something? That was one of his things. He said, well, we never had a contract. So they had they presented, we'll do this for $675 a month.
See, I thought that there was a contract involved.
But
There's
from
not
my
a contract
understanding,
involved.
there's not I don't have a signed contract, and he told me he didn't. But see, I don't really talk to Lee, I just talk to Garrett, who, you know, works for him. But it's his brother.
Yeah, I quit getting updates from Lee. Year and a half ago. Which I guess is when Garrett kind of took over.
Well, Lee calls me if I fuss. If I tag him in an email fussing about something, then Lee will call me and say, I'm really sorry, we're gonna get this straightened out. Which, this last one, I didn't get any calls, and Garrett's not really responding either.
So, what's the opinion of council? Do y'all want me to add, a number 5 to the agenda, or y'all, how do y'all want to handle it?
I say let's follow back to Candace, because we're wasting money.
What do you wanna do, Candace, about this week? That's what you're saying.
Well, I
wait.
want him to do it this week, cause I need time to
Yeah,
go in
that's
there
what I'm
and
saying.
I gotta put everybody's year-to-date, their vacation time, and that's another thing. At least one of the guys' vacation or sick leave's been wrong every pay period for a year, at least one of them.
I know what you're talking about.
Unless we find somebody to do better, I mean,
And I don't know if Heather Wells would wanna do it, but I don't think she'd charge near as much, and I know she'd do it. I'll do it, but I'm just saying, if you want an attorney, an accountant for the checks and balances part, I could reach out to somebody else. That's whatever y'all wanna do.
I ain't got a problem with that, as long as we find somebody that's responsible.
Well, it was a good idea when it started, we thought, but it just really, it hasn't worked out. And if we go with another one, then we're gonna go through the whole integration process again with probably a different system and a different setup.
But by audit purposes, does it have to be done by somebody who has a CPA license?
No, but but you need more than one set of eyes looking at it. I think that was the thing, the previous clerk, when y'all changed this over, it was just her. She was putting in everybody's time,
Right.
and she was doing the payroll, and you need more eyes looking at it. Than
Kind of like
just,
somebody
than,
behind
yeah,
looking over to make sure the paperwork's right.
yeah.
Before you get audited and the paperwork's wrong.
Yeah.
And there's only one set of eyes looking at it.
Yeah.
And the paper, like, was brought up a while ago, the paperwork that was sent in on the audit part of it, some of that come back that was not, that had to be,
There was
changed.
issues, yeah, there was some issues, I think we tagged you in that email, yeah. And so there was still issues even with the accounting portion of it, not the portion that we're doing, but the actual accounting portion. And we're gonna have a tag this time, well, maybe not this year. The debt services pays our SRF loan, and so every month we're supposed to transfer money from like water sewer into a debt services account, and that's been tagged for as long as I've been with the city. So I kept asking him about that, and that was oh, that's no big deal. So I just started doing that about 2 months ago, just because so we may get flagged for it this time, but it's honestly, I didn't understand. We make 3 different payments, but it's all on one loan, and I was trying to find out specifically what each item was for, and I never could get a answer that my non-accountant brain could comprehend. So I just took the 3, divided them up into 6 months, because that's how when we pay them, and started pulling that amount into that debt services account. So.
well, and there's also, isn't there another issue with the way payroll is being done that leaves an account really, really low?
So when Garrett does the payroll, he takes out all the deductions and transfers the money for the amount that's going out into the check into payroll, and then takes that amount and does an ACH. And all of our deductions, like our taxes, our Social Security, Medicare, all of that, our FRS, and cancer insurance policy, life insurance policy, all of those amounts are supposed to go into the payroll account. And then I pay those things out of there. Well, for the last 3 or 4 months, our payroll account has been popping up in the red, and I'm having to transfer money. And so I reached out to him, and I'm like, am I doing something wrong because our account's going in the red? Are you transferring the money every time? And he said, oh, I need to start doing that. Mm-hmm. So he was not transferring the money for our life insurance and our, like Aflac and those kind of things.
Okay, well, we've got a few choices. We can call a special meeting just to deal with this. We can deal with it now. Do we want to wait and talk to the attorney? Do we want to, she needs them to do it this week.
You best call a special meeting. Make a decision on that one subject.
And then you
Have
can straight out.
Then have the attorney here as well.
Yeah, I think we should
Can you
do
schedule
it.
that?
Mm-hmm. Do y'all have a specific day that's
Sooner
better?
rather than later, but I know you wanted to handle your stuff Thursday, so maybe next week.
That's fine. Do y'all want to do Monday next week?
I'm good with that.
Oh wait, what's the day? Is the 25th? Because we're gonna open bids on the 25th anyway.
It's Tuesday.
Tuesday? It's Tuesday. Well, no, Michelle probably can't because of
No, she
her.
has meetings on Tuesday.
I will find out from Michelle when she can be here, and I'll text y'all if that's fine.
Yeah, that's
You
fine.
gonna talk to her?
Yeah, I'll reach out to her. I figured she'd go do that for half price.
Anything else on that? And that was the end of your clerk's report. right?
I'm sorry. Y'all
No,
forgive me.
we all got on that one. It's no problem. Public Works, Jason Wright, you said he was,
I have a sticky note from him.
okay.
He needs a check valve for well number 1. It's gonna run between $2,800 and $3,000, and he's gotta have it.
Which pump is it?
It's well 1.
Well,
And Jimmy got a price and told him around $2,800, but Jason said just go 28 to 3,000 so that we would know we were covered.
And what is it?
It's the check valve,
Check valve,
and y'all know well 2's down, so we gotta
yeah.
keep the other
And what's the
one.
amount, 3,000?
Maximum, they said 3,000.
Add that to number 5, you guys,
we
please.
have to vote on
Yes. Is that all that he had?
Well, he said that they were pretty much almost done with Mr. Gary's list that he had done, but I think Mr. Gary said that's not the case, so I'll let them get together on that. He wanted me to tell y'all he was almost done with it,
We
so.
make another list.
Okay, fire department report.
Are you here for that?
Yes,
Looks
ma'am.
okay.
So, y'all mentioned about the science building earlier. Really, the only thing we want to do in it is just train in it, get a different surrounding. We do have the confined space training area at the station upstairs. I can do that blindfold. We've done it so many
Yeah.
times, which is good. But if y'all do decide to let us use the training or the science building, we basically anything we build, we make sure we can take it out and everything, so nothing's going to be attached to nothing. Just a different atmosphere to train under. You just let the guys do something new and actually, test different skills and stuff, something that they're not familiar with. The tanker is in the shop right now. It's they said some alarm was going off, like the stop engine alarm, but it's been running fine as far as I know, but it's probably just a faulty sensor.
I think it was like $1,300. That's one of the things
Okay.
that on the list to vote on. It was the tanker.
Because I know it had been running fine before, but I'm not sure what it is. So.
that.
They'll probably have more information about it than I do. So.
Do you know how often y'all are wanting to use it? Like, you're talking about,
Probably just once a month, if that, and nothing too serious or nothing like that. We do trainings, like physical trainings every month. So.
Y'all do them at night though, right?
Mhm.
So if you couldn't use that, could you use the back hallway?
Yeah, I think so.
well, it's kind of like, we didn't even vote to give the sheriff's department, we just all agreed to give the sheriff's department
To use that.
to use that. It's not even something we had to vote on.
And they use it during the daytime too.
Mhm.
The back hall. If you used that, I'm just saying.
Right.
But the sheriff department is still using it,
I think they just do it periodically at night, I mean during the day.
daytime.
So you-
Actually, it's, not the sheriff's department, it's, DOC, I think, that's using it.
Who?
I think it's Department of Corrections using it
Okay, I thought it was the sheriff's.
for their
I do
dogs,
too.
to train I think they're running dogs through it.
Maybe the reason I was thinking that the sheriff's department is because years back, the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
Would you,
Okay.
that's why I said, I thought it was sheriff too.
I don't have an issue with it. Does anybody else? Or
No.
I don't think that's anything that we have
It'll
to
be
vote
at night
on.
anyway, so we'll be out the way, you know. We usually get done with training around, sometimes around 8-ish. And we'll sit around and chat, but we'll be done.
If you could just get Candace, when you find out like
Mhm.
the dates or whenever you're gonna do it, just get a list to her.
Okay.
Like, if you're gonna do it this day, what's
So
the
just
month
give her
or-
a shout before we do it.
Yeah,
Okay.
just let her know. Is that okay with everybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
We appreciate it.
Is that all you have?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Recreation report, Miss Nikki.
Nikki Nikki's visiting a friend in the hospital. And they have baseball registrations going. I think they're supposed to end this week. And, basketball's still going. They've done a lot of work out at the Sportsplex. There was like 30-something lights out there, and they've got them almost all going. They had the lift, and then the guys got the lift after they finished. That's all I have.
And the recreation got that lift donated, didn't they? Or
No, but they
did something?
split the cost between water, sewer, and recreation,
Okay.
so that it was, that way they both had it enough days to make it worthwhile,
Okay.
and didn't go over budget that way.
Good deal. Okay. President's report, I've covered basically with, Candace about the situation with the CPA. The only other question I have is, where are we at with the signs being put up?
I'm hoping in 2 weeks, I mean, I don't think we're gonna have them up this week, but I'm hoping that guys can put them up in about 2 weeks. I think I'll have everything back approved by then.
I know you was having to wait on
Yeah.
approvals.
So I'm not gonna say that they're gonna put them up next week, but I think that within 2 weeks, they would be, yeah.
We will have them up by April 5th. Right?
I'm thinking they'll be up by mid-March. That's the hope.
Maybe so this week.
I wanted to kind of plant some flowers around them
Well,
before.
maybe the garden club could do that if you asked them.
Yeah, I'm sure they probably would.
Mhm.
Except Mama's
Mr.
gonna say
Mays.
we're gonna make her go water them and she don't want
That's
to.
seeds from last year.
Okay, number one, Recreation Department, ATV. Again, Nikki's not here.
Table that maybe, cause she
Yeah.
was gonna bring some prices, right?
Yeah, let's table that. Number two, the flow test for the hydrants.
That was, Shaq was gonna come back with us
Table it.
on that, so I think that's going to be tabled.
Table it. Number three, the fire department expense for repairs, you said was $1,300.
I wanna say it was like $1,309.42.
Do I have a motion to approve?
Is that for the tanker?
That's for the tanker, yeah? Make a
Yeah,
motion.
it was the tanker, and, I think y'all already had approved the garage door repair.
We had